Today we're having Salesforce at CNBC Indonesia studio. Salesforce is a member of US-ASEAN Business Council, a business association that aims to foster economic growth and trade ties between the United States and the 10 ASEAN member countries, including Indonesia. To dig more about cloud and AI adoption trends in Indonesia, we have Sujith Abraham, Senior Vice President and General Manager Salesforce for ASEAN. Sujith, it's a pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you, Annika, for having me.
So let's start the discussion by knowing the Salesforce further. So how is the business so far in Indonesia? It's been 2 years, right?
It's been going really well. We're very, very excited. So that's right, it's been 2 years. So 2023, we opened up our business entity here, and that also happened to be the same time we stood up Hyperforce. And what Hyperforce is it's a public cloud version of Salesforce, and it runs on the AWS cloud. And so we've been growing since then. 2024, we physically opened our office. And what's super exciting is that we just announced a number of new AI products and marketing products this month. So it's been an exciting time. Indonesia is an incredibly important market for us.
So how do you see Indonesian market so far?
Look, there is a lot of focus on digitalization. I would tell you this whole push around AI, it's the number one conversation I have with customers and prospects, right? And the reason for that is, if you think about AI or apps and data, which has been the traditional path, all of that got supercharged with AI, right? Because now you have humans and autonomous and agentic services coming together. So that allows Indonesian organizations to leapfrog their traditional path and drive customer centricity. And you have a market here of nearly 300 million people, right? And so it's a land grab. And if you're not moving in that direction, you're going to miss out to others who are actually selling and servicing and marketing those customers and driving hyper-personalization. And for us, that's why it became really imperative for us to be able to deliver a unified platform that brings together the power of CRM and data, applications, and AI all together, and be able to make that something that could be stood up for our customers easily.
It's very interesting when we talk about AI. AI technology is moving very fast also in Indonesia. And how can you have a benefit from AI to push sales extremely in Salesforce?
So let me give you an example, right? So let's say you are going and applying for a loan, right? You may see this beautiful house or condo or car, and you're sitting here going, okay, I want to get a hold of my loan consultant. So when you call that loan consultant, what they're actually doing, they may be putting you on hold. They're looking at the level of risk you present, right? How many assets do you have? How many loans do you have outstanding? How many credit card transactions? How good have you been on paying back things? That takes time. So when you bring AI into the picture, what happens is you've essentially unified your data, and you've brought in the capability to ask the AI a question about this person and say, hey, can I give this person a loan? This is the situation. And it may still come back and say, well, there's some concerns, but that allows a human to respond quickly and be able to drive exceptions, but most importantly, focus on driving the relationship. So it's about speed, it's about accuracy. And if I take that one step further, let's say you see that house after hours. Now you want to start the process because you don't want to miss out. You can do that. You can start the loan process and talk to an autonomous agent after hours. And anything that can't be resolved, when the human comes back to work, they can pick it up from there. So you're that much further along. The other thing I will say is, when you look at Indonesia specifically, it's geographically dispersed, right? So what we're seeing is new models coming to bear. So for example, telcos could be working with, say, the local family mart to be able to stand up a way for customers to interact and, say, do SIM activation or contract renewals in markets that normally would be underserved, because they can drive a partnership, and that clerk at, say, that family mart can interact with an autonomous agent, or agent force in our case, to be able to drive the process without having a lot of training. So it's creating all kinds of new opportunities, all kinds of new business models. And we're excited because we're combining all these things together in a way so that our customers don't have to build it at a foundation level and worry about trust, but rather they can focus on deploying these capabilities very, very quickly in a trusted, safe way and make sure that there's no toxicity or bias.
Since you mentioned about loan and also family mart, which means consumers and telco, so are they the industries that became your focus here in Indonesia?
So for sure, we are seeing telcos, we are seeing banks and finance, we're seeing insurance companies, we're seeing retail. All of them, especially those with high volume transactions, are very keen to see how they can sell, serve, and market and use our AI platform to drive much deeper levels of engagement, drive speed, drive productivity, reach markets they couldn't before. So we're seeing across the board those industries showing a lot of interest.
So for the last 2 years, which industries contributes more to Salesforce?
So for sure, our number one conversation is in banking and telco, right? And retail. Banking, telco, retail are really the industries we're really engaged in.
I see. And to what extent are Indonesian business aware of and also prepared for integrating AI into their operations?
This is a great question. What I would say is they are definitely aware. They see the advantages of AI. There is a big effort underway to digitize. The challenge, though, is how prepared are they, right? Because what it takes, when you think about it, so Aniku, you, for example, if you're a customer of an airline or a bank, actually your data, who you are, what your preferences are, may be sitting in multiple systems, right? And for AI to really be high quality, the more data, the more information we have about who you are, the better. Now, what that requires is bringing all of that data together in a unified way. Once you unify your data, which is one of the biggest challenges, then you can drive great AI. And so that's why we've spent a lot of time and effort in building a data platform, which we call Data Cloud, to be able to bring all of your data together without adding a ton of complexity. In fact, we use something called zero copy. So even if your data is sitting in another system, we're able to reference it without moving it over. And we can still see who you are, what your preferences are. Where did you sit? What food did you eat? And be able to drive a hyper-personalized experience. And then you bring agents onto that, and it's a game changer because now you have somebody who can engage with you that's human-like and also drive action. That's much more than a co-pilot, which is more ask and answer.